Mentioned to us already, but the hair.
It's been a long camp. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to get out and get a haircut. I don't even know what day it is right now. Been grinding away. Guys are working hard. This is what fall camp's all about. Growing a beard, letting your hair get down a little bit, and just out there getting better. Tonight was a good night. Guys competed, a little scrimmage night. Kind of same format. Let the ones go against the ones, twos versus twos, threes versus threes. Got a series, 2 open field series, so they got about 25, 26 plays in the open field. They got about 15, 16 in the red zone, and they got some goal line work tonight as well.
Any groups, players, anything like that just catch your eye tonight?
A few. Yeah, really hard to tell. I mean, there were some guys that made some plays. A couple turnovers. I thought the defense did a great job. They've been really working on what they do after the turnover, trying to score, and that showed up tonight. You know, you can see the defense transitioning on some turnovers and making plays. Some good throws were made tonight. Thought we saw some good things in the run game that we wanted to see from the O-line, tight ends, running backs, and then from the defensive line as well. We set in the edge. We're being physical up front. There were some stones in there by the defensive line on some run game that were really good. That the offense wasn't getting much early on.
Maybe not necessarily tonight, but here in this first week of camp, I mean, any of those groups kind of really stepped up that you wanted to see?
Yeah, in their own ways. Really in their own ways. I do think, obviously, our linebackers have played well. I think the D linemen, I think those guys have shown, some of the young guys as well, just some depth in that area. I think those guys have been physical. I really thought our wide receivers tonight did a great job. They were competing. They made some big plays down the field, went up and made some tough catches, and then they were out there also blocking the perimeter. That's been a big part of what we've been emphasizing in camp.
With those backup running backs, where are you in trying to find that number 2?
Yeah, still trying to find it. Yeah, we're still working on it. Still trying to see in that rotation who that's going to be, getting those guys opportunities, and they're taking advantage of their reps. We'll have to go back and watch this film and see where they are.
We're probably going to see one of those true freshmen, I would imagine.
You know, I don't know that yet. We're still early in camp. We don't have the whole load, on them mentally, and I think that's a big part of it too. It's not just the physical part. Can they handle the rest of it? And we're not ready to make that decision yet.
Been pretty healthy so far in camp?
Yeah, been good. Yeah, guys have been healthy, knock on wood, and so far, I think the training from the summer has shown up too. The conditioning part of things has been good.
Just some maintenance days for individual guys sometimes that we see over there on the sidelines.
Yeah. Everybody's got, through numbers of practices and things like that, no matter of how many reps we want them to get. If we're in a double day, there may be a few guys that don't get that second one completely.
You mentioned the quarterbacks. What do you want to see most from that group kind of step up this year? Obviously, starting with Brett, but also even maybe Tommy a little bit too.
Yeah, good decisions. I think that starts right there. We talk about toughness at that position, but decision making. Are these guys making great decisions out there? Because that's really when it comes down to it. Do we have the ball in our possession when we go out there and we have a chance to punt it, kick it, either way? And then we can go out there and play defense. So I think that's the key ingredient, always is. Want to see that, and I've been seeing that throughout camp. Saw that for the most part tonight, and we'll continue with that same emphasis all the way through the season.
What from the wide receiver corps has impressed you? We talked to Cedric Wilson the other day. He's a JUCO transfer, as you know, and also Thomas Spurbeck and also Chaz Anderson. Which wide receivers impressed you in the fall camps?
Yeah, all of them. I think all those guys are doing a good job. I really do, from top to bottom. There's obviously some separation in experience and playing and some physical separation in there as well with some of the young guys, but they've all been very good. I think Coach Adams has that room really dialed into what his expectations are, and we're seeing that, but we're still early, in what we're trying to accomplish, and we don't have everything in, so we're trying to see where we can go and maybe which of those young guys might help us, if any, and then Cedric Wilson be one of the new ones, where does he go from here, and how do we continue to utilize him?
What said, he kind of reminded us the other day that he's only really been playing the position for a couple of years now. And,
yeah.
I mean, does that seem the case, and how much have you kind of seen him already progress in a short amount of time here?
Yeah, he's smart. He grinds on film. He works really hard. He has a whole lot of fun with the game. So he's just, I think it remains to be seen, but he's just scratching the surface right now of where he's going to be. We'll have to go out there and find out in a real game what that looks like, but he's a lot of fun to be around. I think he's contagious, with guys. I think he really gets what we're trying to accomplish here with just a mentality, and it's been fun to have him.
But 8 days in now, I guess. I think you've had 4 in a row in full pads, at least in one of the practices.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, kind of culminating the first, I guess, block of camp with the scrimmage tonight.
Yeah.
How do you feel the first 8 days have gone so far overall?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I think it's been really good. I think the guys have taken to what we're trying to accomplish. I think they understand where we want to be. Certainly, this is not the point we want to be, but through these practices, when we start getting the game planning Lafayette, what that is supposed to look like, and they're working every day. So we're progressing, and that needs to show up tomorrow. We'll watch the tape tonight, and we'll see what happens with these next remaining practices before we scrimmage again, and see what progress we've made. But at this point, I think we're where we want to be.
How much more time do you spend at the offensive end or with the offense in a normal practice maybe than you had in the past when you weren't calling plays?
Yeah, a little more, and that really is because now we have some guys in operations that are really handling quite a few things that taking a little bit off my plate. So it's allowing me to be in the offensive room a little bit more, still in the defensive staff room as well, and trying to make sure that I know what we're doing there. And Coach Avalos and that staff done a great job. I like what we're seeing on defense, but I've been freed up more to get in there and be more coordinator at times, which has helped me feel better about the game plan, understanding it, and able to call plays.
From the linebacking core, Andy Avalos, hardworking Boise State linebacker back in the day.
Yeah.
What linebackers on this unit remind you of him?
Good question. Yeah. I think Andy's different. I think all those guys have taken on his mentality, and I think we have quite a few of those. Tanner Vallejo, for example, has taken on the physicality that Corey Hall and Andy Avalos played with. That's probably what I see from that group. I couldn't pick one of them, to be honest with you. I think they all, you walk by that room, that's one of the most dialed-in rooms. When they come into meetings, they're there early. They pay attention. They walk out of there with notebooks filled with information, and they go apply it on the field. So to me, it shows up, the type of player, and I don't know how that totally translate into the coaching part of it, but the mentality does.
David Moa is the guys that really kind of stepped up in the spring, and
Yeah.
like you guys were talking about him in the summer. How has he carried over into the fall? And when you think of him, what stands out?
Yeah, it's carried over. Physical up front, and it needs to be. Still has to continue to be a guy that is not just a plug guy, but also a guy that's an attacker and can get off blocks, create havoc in the run game, but get after the quarterback.
He doesn't look necessarily like some of those other guys that are working at that spot, but it seems like he still gets it done.
Yeah.
How's that possible?
Yeah, he does. He's working, to continue to keep developing there. I think a mentality, I really do. I think that Coach Caldwell, that D-line group, those guys understand, what they have to do at that position. And so Sam McCaskill and Elliot Hoyt, guys like that have played, really make sure that guys are doing the right things as far as effort and what their assignments are. And that's showing up in practice. But, again, we got to go do it in the game.
Zach Hill, quarterback guru, worked with some great quarterbacks back in the day like Vernon Adams and Bo Levi Mitchell at Eastern Washington.
Right.
How vital is he to the progression of Fred Rippon as a quarterback?
Ask that again.
You got a haircut.
What's that?
You got a haircut.
Oh, yeah. I did. It's amazing. Yeah, cut that and move on to the.
How vital is
Minute later.
Zach Hill to the progression of Brett Rippon as quarterback?
Yeah, it's been good. I think he's worked with all those guys very well. He's an excellent teacher, and his demeanor in that room of just them understanding, what we're trying to accomplish. At the same time, also commanding certain things where it's not an option. Like, this is what has to happen. And there's a fine line of that. Quarterback position, there's a lot of feel to it, but there's also some command in there too, where it's just, this is, it's black and white in some of those situations there. And I think it's been a good balance, and I've seen that in practice. Certainly, so many other situations we have to put these guys in before we really feel like they're ready for everything. And even, Brett, he's played, you got to go back. You're talking about 2015 team and completely different. So we have new scenarios that have come up that we want to keep working, and he's certainly got to improve in those areas as well.
Brett's talked about, kind of, getting the ball out quicker a little bit, and it seems like, with that offense that Zach ran in Eastern Washington, it seems like kind of apply some of those concepts to you guys. How much is that kind of trickled down?
We've certainly added wrinkles from what they've done. Vernon Adams is different now. He'll run around a little bit, and he would throw that deep ball.
I was thinking some of the other ones, but
yeah, some of the other guys. Levi, I can't remember his last name, that was there, but Zach's been. He's played the position, or he's coached the position, and I think that's where, not the good times, but where some of the tough times, he's able to coach in situations and go, okay, here's where we are, this is what needs to happen, and that's what I'm talking about, just that demeanor in a meeting, because sometimes it's firm and sometimes it's mentoring and just talking about it and trying to see where your quarterback's at, and I think he does a really good job of that. That position, though, still working. A lot of work in progress.
In the second